I'm Reena.
And we're happy to have you here today. We're actually entering our third year of doing sessions with Mary Jane. So we've been a lot of Mary Jane and a lot of people and taking it with us, including our guest today. Please welcome to the podcast, Ashton Hiatt. Thank you for being on the pod, Ash. Yes. Yeah, how was your trip in from the Bushwick area?
Scurry.
Yes.
It was my first time taking the New Jersey Transit.
Yeah, thoughts?
I love it. I thought.
Be honest, my brother works for them, so I will let him know anything you hate, anything you want to fix, any insults.
My sister in Christ, unless he can do something about the MTA. I don't fucking give a shit about New Jersey Transit.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay,
awesome in comparison. Like, clean.
Yeah.
Nobody touched me.
I love
it. I got on the A train, and there were so many people that it was 3 trains that passed by before it was nice and clear on the platform.
Wow.
Yeah. No, so tell them to keep taking more New Yorkers into New Jersey.
Yeah, the MTA is just like a monster. I think they try to fix it every once in a while, but it feels like it's the same issues no matter what.
Yeah.
New Jersey is great. It has the best coverage in possibly the world with buses and trains, but it has the worst frequency with trains. So it doesn't even matter that you can get almost anywhere with a bus or train, because I feel like the trains are just very irregular.
Yeah.
If late night when you would want a train, it's not available.
I remember yesterday I was getting back from work and I heard some dudes just oh, is the train running from the path? And I was like, y'all suck. Yeah, they just kind of had this panic moment. They were all really high. And they didn't know what to do. And I was just kind of I'm going to be in the corner until you ask how friends you are.
So speaking of work, so what kind of work have you been up to recently? What are the kind of jobs that you've been taking, or what's the influx of pay?
The influx of pay. So I worked at TCS, which is a camera rental house, for a couple years. And that was really chill because it was the first time I had pseudo kind of consistency in my schedule. And then I joined the union, and now I'm working in the camera department in a less consistent fashion. So it's really cool but really sucky. My mom really wants me to leave the industry. She didn't see me for 7 months, 8 months straight, because I did this one movie here, and maybe it's 18 hours total where you're working for 12 of those hours, maybe commuting for the rest, or they go over schedule, and it's a really long day to the point where I'd go straight to bed, don't talk to anybody, my best friend didn't hear from me for months. And then get on a TV show, get another movie, go away for work in Philly, which was really sick. I found out that I love Philly. So yeah, it's oh my god, I'm killing my body, but also this is the coolest, most funniest, awesomest, most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. And then, now we're in the winter slump, which is the first time I'm experiencing it. Where I don't have a paycheck coming in because I'm not staffed somewhere. So even though it's slow, I'm getting paid. Yeah. It's very much oh, did I save enough money to just not work for a minute, and also go out and have some fun. Thankfully I did, because somebody at TCS when I was leaving gave me a really good piece of advice, which was don't change any of my spending habits, because they classically pay really bad for a job as a rental house worker. And so he knew that I wasn't making baller money, right? But he was you'll make more money, but don't change any of your spending habits. And I didn't, and I now have money for the winter, which is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had several panic attacks about oh, it's been 4 days without work, and I was but I have money, it's okay. But
save it.
You don't work, and then you're just I'm gonna die, everything's crashing.
Yeah.
But you kind of recondition your brain, right? It's very good that you have that experience, right? Because you're oh, this is what it feels like not to work, and oh, I have a life that I need to live.
Yeah, nurturing my relationship with my little sister. I got her those Kiwi Coke Company boxes. Which are just these cute little boxes that they give you a thing to make, or a thing to paint, or something to learn.
Adorable.
Yeah, I would just do those with her once a month, and
cool.
So yeah, it's been sick. It's
that's great.
COVID time ish, just recentering.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody gets locked in that. You're just so used to. You confuse. You're like, the reason I exist and live is because I'm working. I have to, right? This provides for like whatever, and then you're just like, and you're like, wait a minute, no, fuck that, no, this is not how it should be. You're like, I don't live to work, people. Yeah, I like this is fueling my like life, but I have so many other interests. I have so many other things, especially gosh, working the hours you were working, long days.
Yeah, I think the longest day that I had worked was like 22 hours, but that's excluding the load in and the load out. That's like the actual working hours. It was like a really, really long day.
Yeah. In perspective, a full day is 24 hours.
Yes. Most of it.
Wow. Yeah, that's like a doctor in the ER kind of situation.
Yeah.
I guess, do they work that long? I just made a general
they only work 2 hours tops.
Right? How long can their shift be?
Yeah. Sew it up.
Somebody else, I'm tapping out.
Yeah. Doctor, you didn't do anything. You just cut him open and walk out of the room. But you're right. I think it is like similar, like definitely in terms of like the length of hours or like the hecticness of it.
But at least they're saving lives.
Right.
Like when you're working, and I know that me and you went to film school together.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you've worked in film since, like on set proper.
Just like I did a couple like PA things when I first got out of there, but nothing really much since then.
Yeah. Well, I know you're far more into writing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Can't wait to see
this
that.
dude bangs out so many scripts. It's gross.
He helped me write my thesis film.
Oh, great.
Amazing writer.
Yeah, so that's we
no, for sure.
Yeah, we didn't meet in that class, but like we like became like friends in that class for sure. Because I think I probably met you through Ethan Beller. I think because I think you guys had already known each other.
Because we had like met IRL and really like gotten together.
Yeah.
With Ethan.
Yeah.
I think it was what's her face, Jody Gibson.
Yeah. So that was the class that we
Wow,
had.
Ethan's been mentioned so many times on this podcast.
Friend of the podcast, Ethan Beller. We love him. But we met in our. It was I guess a screenwriting 2 class we met, and we experienced the crazy whirlwind that is Jody Gibson, and we learned some things and experienced some things, and then later on Ash asked me to help co-write the script that you were writing, which was called Classic Punk.
Yeah, so it was about an old woman who is just like a badass who wants her life back from her children. We're trying to put in an elderly home. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Who would you
a lot of fun.
cast, Ash, if you could think of somebody, a famous actor, who would you cast as the old lady?
What's Rosie's last name? Because I met her in person, I did ask her to be my person.
Wait, Rosie who?
Oh, whispering going on.
Because I don't want to whisper about that.
No. We don't have to. You don't have to answer. You don't have to say it. You can just say like next.
Oh
question.
no. There is a.
If it's top secret, you don't have to tell us.
It's not top secret. I told her about it, and she liked it a lot. And her agent was like, "There's no way in hell that you're doing this for nothing because she's very famous."
Yeah.
The Rosie, the Hispanic one, who's
Rosie
like,
Perez.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I had asked Rosie Perez to.
I was wondering if you were not allowed to say her name because I was just like, who, what, like.
Oh no, I didn't say her name out loud because I didn't want to disrespect her by not saying her last name.
That's right. We'll come right to the part where you
no,
say
no.
Rosie Perez.
For sure, but also like I wouldn't know what Rosie.
Very famous and very talented.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. Wait, how did you meet Rosie?
So I had 2 scholarships that took me to school,
and
one of them was through this program called Urban Arts Partnership, which is where I used to do like a lot of slam poetry, and I used to do a lot of activism with them, with Latino justice, and they throw a gala once a year, and when I was in their video school, and they had given me one of my scholarships that put me through school, she was there, and we were just chopping it up because she's a person who cares deeply about young people and about their education and about low-income and people of color. And so she is a big donor to Urban Arts Partnership.
Cool.
Nice.
Also with DMC and a couple of other really nice folks.
Cool.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super wicked. Wow.
When I
so
did my acceptance speech, she actually came up to me and shook my hand
for
my scholarship.
Wow, I would flip out. I probably would react how I just did, actually. I'd be like, Oh my god.
Yeah, she just seems so cool and so fun too.
She is
Wow.
like amazingly kind in person.
Yeah.
Oh, she so gives off that vibe. I'm so glad that that's actually true.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg also a really, really kind human being.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, already. We're in the first act and you dropped 2 names.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you, Ash. I see you. Okay.
It's only to pay homage to the really wonderfulness of those
Right.
people. Because, yeah, Whoopi saw somebody reading an Anne Frank book, and that kid was, and she didn't know it at the time, but he was, like, between housing and, like, you know, it was a place for kids who don't have a lot of money and are inner city kids.
Yeah.
And so he was between housing, and she offered to fly him to Amsterdam to see Anne Frank's house. And that was, like, the craziest experience for that kid for probably his whole life. I wasn't, like, a super buddy of his, so I haven't kept up, but I remember, like, everybody freaked out on his behalf that day. It was, like, super.
That's wild.
That's cool.
Wait, I just want to take it back, just because we were talking about writing, and yeah, like I said, it's gross. Brendan actually likes writing, and he's really good at it.
Yeah.
Some of us really try to achieve that, and it just does not flow out as freely. Do you enjoy writing? And did that class get you into it, or that was you were already into it?
No, Jody is a sweetie because she let me take her class when I absolutely did not deserve to be there. I'm a really piss poor writer, and that is why I was so concerned with making a thesis film, because part of the program is that you had to write and direct your own. And I was like, bitch, I want to be in the camera department. Why do I have to do this? Please don't make me do this. And tack on my anxiety, I took 3 writing classes to try and get my 5-page thesis right. Because it was just like,
I love that effort. That's so cute.
Yeah, you know, I figured if I was going to make something, I really want to make it cool.
For sure.
You know, it came out how it did.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it, but, you know, would I change some things? No, that was a lot of effort.
But you say you've done it.
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Exactly. You done. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like so many stages. I mean, would you say, Brendan, that like so much of writing is your mental blockage? Like, I don't know. It's just like the
it can be
hindrance we put on ourselves.
I think
for like limitations.
There definitely is a bit of like a self-imposed like part of it. Some part of it is just like your brain is like a living organism in a way, and it's gonna do what it wants to do, and like you can't like force ideas; they have to come. I think it's just the biggest thing I learned. There was like two very like important things I learned when I like really started getting to like oh, I'm gonna like write like every day. Like, I'm gonna be like writing, like it's gonna be like a discipline. And one of them was to like write something, finish a version of it, and then don't touch it for several months, and like go write other things, because if you write other things, by default you'll be a better writer when you come back to the other thing that you were working on. And the other thing was just like being okay with, I think it might have been like Aaron Sorkin who said this, where he's like, you know, there are gonna be some days where you like write and you write the best stuff you've ever written, and you write pages and pages of stuff, and then you'll be so happy and you'll go to bed, and then you wake up the next day and you write nothing. And he's like, but as long as you like think of one new thing or have like one new idea, he's like, even if you spend like hours watching ESPN, if you have like one line or one like character name, he's like, that's a win. No matter, like,
right, you don't apply so much pressure on yourself because you do feel like, or any new writer, the expectation is like, oh, I have to write a lot of shit and it has to be good every day, right? That's a writer, you have to be a writer, and it's just like, that's not how it goes. That's not the practice. Even the greatest of writers write shit. They go through a lot of bullshit to get to good shit. Like,
I don't know if you've noticed this new practice on Amazon, I think it is, of like these poetry books coming out. They're just like stream of consciousness.
No.
Have I seen that? That sounds familiar.
My buddy Alex keeps like sending them to me because we're awful people.
Are they entertaining?
They're very entertaining, but not in that like, oh my god, that was so deep and meaningful and impactful. It's like, wow, some of this is just like, I don't feel bad about myself which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to feel good.
Yeah, that's so true.
So it's like doing a trick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so film. I have to ask the very generic, classic, basic question. How did you fall in love with film? What made you want to work in camera, do anything in this industry? Where was the initial spark? Where was the spark?
Also, where did you grow up? Yeah. Did we talk about that?
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
dude, that was so in the back of my mind.
It started in high school, so I grew up in New York City,
Cool.
in Sunnyside.
I like how you navigate that.
In Sunnyside, and my parents were divorced, so I also lived in Astoria.
Woo!
All
Divorced
Queens,
parents.
baby. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, not for Queen. Yeah, not the place. It's for the sad one.
It's
Yeah.
for divorce. Yeah. So you're like a doubly Queens person then, because you got two Queens
Yeah,
locations
wow.
under your belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Different
just
neighborhoods.
Queens. Queens for me.
Yeah.
Except when I went to Brooklyn College, then it was all Brooklyn all
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started in high school. At Urban Arts, I did the film program, and I did like a bunch of art shit.
But why did you go there? Why did you? What like?
Well, actually, my buddy dared me to go.
Wait,
I was pretty
What's
shy.
Your entire
I'm pretty shy.
based off of a dare.
That's great.
Yeah, my whole life is based off of my one buddy William Haramacy. If you ever are listening to this,
I didn't know what to do in life, but I was just dared to do this.
well,
Oh,
he
that's
was
so
like, come hang out with some pals, and I was like, word, love ya, let's go do a thing. So we go and hang out at this poetry slam, and I never knew that my buddy Will was so fucking gay that he wrote poetry. But I never told him that I wrote fucking poetry. And for anybody out there, I am gay as fuck. So, asterisks.
We're cutting back now.
Yeah, we're not
I didn't even think of that. People listening, being like, "What the fuck?"
yeah. Well, because I'll say like really askew things, and sometimes people are like, you can't say that. I'm like, wait, but I am. Da da.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he dared me to share my poetry because I was not like I wasn't a sharer, and I was like, all right, well, bitch, if I do that, then you gotta go and share yours. And everybody was doing slams, so it was at the end they had an open mic. Scared out of my fucking mind.
It's like the Goofy scene, like the Goofy
Yeah,
movie.
Goofy.
Remember? Sorry.
And it was cringy, bad high school poetry. I was like, it wasn't thoughtful or entertaining. It was like, oh, I feel so bad about myself. And here's how, in a disturbing amount of detail.
Have you gone back and read any of the stuff that you wrote
Yeah,
in
you
high
saw
school?
it, yeah.
I do still have it,
Yeah.
and I don't open it. But I have it, and I'll have it forever.
You know, it's so,
one day, maybe when you're super old,
yeah.
you'll open it.
Yeah, and I'll edit everything by just erasing it with hate.
You know, it's so fun.
No, that should maybe pass down to a generation.
Yeah, and I still have notebooks from when I was definitely in high school and like a little after high
It's
school.
cringe. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
and it feels like, because you know what's like the worst way someone can insult you or roast you is when they think really personal, very specific to you, and like when it's almost like yourself is doing it to yourself by accident. Like they're saying all these things that you have insecurities about, like just like writing it out, trying to get it out, and you go back and read it, you're like, fuck, I remember when I felt that way. I feel that way again now.
Well, it's interesting when I look back and read it. I'm just like, oh my god, Reena, this is so dark. Like, get over yourself. I'm like that. I'm
You
not.
roast your past self.
Yeah, I should write. Yeah, exactly. Journal about my past journals to roast my past self. Yeah.
My journal.
But it like I do see it as just like I'm being so dramatic, and I'm like life's so much better now. But then it's funny because I write shit now, and I'm like, oh, this is so like really bad shit, and then 10 years later I'll read it and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Calm down. Like this is your life was fine.
Yeah.
Like you did.
You had 3 square meals, times every once in a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you
Nobody's
do
ever
look at
tried
it,
to war you.
I'm just like, it's knock on wood, and I can't, a lot of other people cannot say that. And it's like, people have been through really difficult shit.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're a young kid at the time, which is why you can't compare one person's pain to the other.
Yeah.
Every circumstance is different. You can't, if a kid's really feeling low, this is how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it. Doesn't
Yes.
matter what the reason, what he's feeling is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always used to tell my ex, who was like, loved to hate himself, that, everybody's allowed to
Don't
have
we
their
all?
10.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and it's like, if you're some rich kid from the Hudson, your 10 is still whatever the fuck your 10 is.
Yeah,
Whereas,
yeah.
if you're some kid out in, I don't know, the Bronx. I don't know.
You went with the Bronx. I thought you were gonna be like someplace in Kentucky or Tennessee. A kid, who's rich over here.
No, I'm talking about people I know.
Got you.
So Sorry, world, and don't put that on the internet. I do think about how cancelable I am in my real thoughts.
That's funny.
But yes, journaling, interesting.
Yes.
We're different from we're young and then older.
Which we had the poetry slam go. Did you feel,
yeah.
Did you feel good about it afterwards, or did you were you like what was your experience with that?
I mean, I was like shaking in my pants, right? I was like, oh fuck, all these really cool people are here who just like I listened to all of their shit. And
how many
really
people
lovely.
were there? Do you remember?
At least like 30.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. That's good. That's a good group. It's a good chunk.
Good crowd.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
It's
enough to get hella nervous.
Yeah. 13-year-old me, hitting puberty. I was like, no, I can't be seen.
No, I was being sarcastic. That is like that. That would intimidate me.
Yeah. Mood. Same.
Yeah.
But the director of the program was there, and he came up to me and he was like, "Dude, that was like really great." And I was like, "You're lying." Cool.
The director came to talk to you. Sorry, I'm getting excited. Sorry, go ahead.
And so he asked me to come to the school.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, then he was like, "You can do whatever you want here," and so I did. I did poetry, and then I did the leadership, and I did the girls group and the boys group and the square and the circle group. It was just like there all the time, trying not to be home.
I love how that just fell into place.
Yeah, it was really lucky.
Just like
I don't
one
think
thing,
I would have been doing this otherwise, honestly. Because like when we did a documentary for Latino Justice, it was to help stop the broken windows policy of stop and frisk. Stop and stop. So like they would, stop black and brown kids all over the city and just like search them for shit. And we made a documentary and it like actually was impactful. Like the mayor watched it and stuff, and that policy then changed. And it felt like, oh shit, if you like hold a camera to people and like you give them a voice, like you can really make a change. You can impact people. Of course, my career's had none of the pleasures of doing that for me for money.
But you were saying, when we were saying doctors, though, like we were like, oh, they saved lives. Art does save lives. Art creates chains, inspires something, like it's a ripple effect. It's a chain effect. It is. It's not
quite the one-to-one that a doctor creates, right?
Sure.
Like we don't necessarily walk away from somebody that we've killed and then have to live with ourselves to go and save somebody else, which I think is its own pleasures and pains, right? But we do, sacrifice our time and our money and, the respect of other people. Like, I was, I come from an Indian and Italian heritage, and my mom really wanted me to be a doctor or something, which is not uncommon for people like me. And so I went to school to be in like robotics and biology.
OMG! Same, like exactly the same. Was high school robotics, did that at first competition, and then alternate biology major. I have a degree in biology.
And disappointment club, nice to meet
you. You just shook my hand, I have to say. That was really, really good. Because people couldn't see that, but that was perfect.
It's sort of like a handshaking sound.
That was really good.
Yeah, but so I just kind of like combined the loves. I was like, maybe I'll be able to impact somebody's life, and like cameras are cool. I'll always have a toy to play with.
What are their thoughts, your parents, for what you are doing now?
Well, my dad always wanted me to follow my dreams, so I know he's proud of me. And my mom,
she come around?
I mean, she's just stoked that I can pay my bills and I don't have to ask her for money, So I think she's pretty happy. She
as long as you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah, she used to worry when I was working in the non-union sphere and like work was far less, consistent. But she as soon as I got a full-time job at TCS, she was like, "Okay, fine, you can make money, all right, whatever."
Yeah, I mean, the parents always like the safety net. You must have the safety net.
Right, like you can't live in my house, but you must have your own.
yes. My number one concern is your security. Like, that is where they come from.
Yeah. And that is what most parents do want, is they want to just be able to be like they want to know that you are okay.
You have to be self-sufficient.
And because I think that's
the
all
reality.
Parents' biggest fear.
Of them not being there anymore.
Right,
you die and then what happens?
Exactly, yeah. And I think all parents want to be able to go and be able to know their kid is going to carry on in this world and be okay in some capacity, you know. So, question: how much does the quality of the project that you're working on have an effect on like your enjoyment of it? Like, yes, in general.
I think it's kind of interesting because I really liked Susie Searches, which is Steph's movie. 86 that I really liked Susie Searches, which is Sophie's movie. Yeah. Sorry Sophie, love you Sophie. But yeah, and she brought a lot of love to the project, and was just like really kind to everybody. And it was, you know, she's a young woman, and you know, not that young, but she's like
youngish.
She's young for a director.
Yeah.
It's amazing that she got the chance to do that.
Yeah.
And you know, it was like obviously a labor of love. She had like this binder that she brought with her all over set, and like was like, oh, okay, let's get this exact thing that I worked on for like years and years, and like she just poured so much effort into it. And I really loved working on that movie because I think like the positivity just seeped out. But like mostly within the group of people that I work with, like those 4 or 5 key people that'll be on the camera department, I find if you know, we drive well and like, you know, we work hard and long days, so sometimes people get snappy, and I've definitely been snappy, and it's not nice or fun all the time, but if you can get past those moments with people and like really find the joy in the good ones, like oh, it was a nice day out when it shouldn't have been, or it didn't rain and we were all really prepared for it to maybe like, you know, those are really special fun days. Even if like the content sucks, you know, because not all of them are winners.
Right.
And you know, I mean, even
but it's experimentation. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right. That it's bad while you're making it.
Hopefully,
Only until it comes out, or but also, you know, it's subjective.
Right.
Well, it also could take a really long time. Like,
this
is I'm in year 1 and some change right now of working in the union, and like having this kind of consistency with work.
Yeah, go unions.
Yeah,
go unions.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Jordan, speak up.
Jordan loves unions.
SAG.
Sorry, what?
No, that's my fault. Totally even did the union thing and like made you lose your train of thought. We're all thinking of what's the train of thought. When you did the project unions, bonding with people.
Oh yeah, those key 4 or 5 people that you hang out with.
Yes.
Thank you. If they're really great, it makes the time fly by because not all of them are winners.
Yeah, no. And I mean, in general, it's kind of just how it is. Like, when you have good coworkers and you just, like, enjoy being around each other, it just makes everything easier. You know? Like, I think in theory you want to do something you enjoy doing also, but it's like, even if you're doing something that's, like, whatever, it's like, man, but if people are cool and you're having fun, then you're like, hey, I'm making money, and also I'm, like passing the time that's, like, pretty enjoyable, so. Yeah.
That's how adults get miserable, though. Yeah. They don't remember how to have fun. And we're all kids at heart still, so we want the part of the job to be fun. We're still looking for things like people, community stuff, whatever. Why do we enjoy shit only when it's fun? It's just like, oh, I wonder, because it releases dopamine. It makes us feel good. Like, that shouldn't change when you're older. But unfortunately...
Well, people tell you that everything that you think is wrong for so many years in your young life that you're like, well, I can't skip anymore. That shit's gay.
Skipping rocks.
Yeah.
I skip in the parking lot probably often, actually.
Yeah. I love skipping.
I do a little skip,
So many people in our generation, though, also are, like, so poor that it's like...
They can't afford to skip.
So sad.
You can't skip. No, I only have 5 cents. Well, that guy can run.
He can get a runner's high in 5 hours.
You can stand for a couple seconds.
Yeah, this guy's gonna really sit down. He's really loud. Sorry, you were saying, wait, why poor people can't skip?
Because of the economy!
Because they're mentally not happy to. Sure,
No.
You have to fucking drag us.
I wasn't making a comparison.
No, I got you. I got you.
Not wrong, but I think you're realizing this is
Because when you have deep despair from no money, you're giving yourself to skip.
For sure, I got that,
I can't get a house. I don't want to skip in somebody else's grass.
That's a funny, like, short film. Like, someone just so like poor and depressed, and they just live in a place where they don't have lawn to skip
But
around.
it's like
so
an
they
infomercial.
skip in
Is this you?
You feel so sad walking around in somebody else's grass. You're never gonna have grass of your own.
And then it's sponsored by what's the antidepressant drug?
Cymbalta.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
But the super popular one that people take, Jordan. You know it, Jordan.
Lexapro?
Yeah, Lexapro. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Brought to you by Lexapro. You hear Lexapro? Get on that. We're waiting for you.
You're welcome. You can send your check to
I've asked
Brooklyn.
talking to your doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, hot take, Jordan. Hot take. No, we won't dive into that, but Jordan, it's a SAG actor. Jordan is against Lexapro. Everybody, we just gotta make it clear here.
I'm not saying that.
So he's not getting that commercial.
He's just said that he's not saying that. So you're saying that everyone should be on Lexapro.
Oh, Justin, Jordan.
A little bit of sedation is good for everyone.
If you're listening to this, you have a lot of options of which headline you want to go with. Do you want to go with Reena? Do you want to go with Ashton or Jordan's headline? You choose your own news.
Right, picking the poll.
That's true, yeah, that's what we all want. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what was your point with poor people and skipping? Why were you talking about skipping? Oh, Kid at Heart. Ooh, I really gotta backtrack myself.
We're talking about the economy because if you, I think I said it.
No,
you're
did.
skipping in someone else's grass.
No, I'm just saying to go back how we got to that was saying like, yes, being a kid at heart and working, and you were enjoying the people you were actually working with. Yeah, you got
I was going to say, so the last movie that I worked on, they had to let go of the B camera team, but before they were let go, I had bought us all these laser guns to play on set with. And I was so very stoked to bring them onto the truck, but the mood got dampened and it never felt right to bring them out. It's kind of like, oh man, all of our buddies had to dip, you know, and these are good guys. Yeah. So, it was like, for the fallen, but I can't wait for the next movie. I've got a whole bunch of laser guns. I'm just gonna stick them in the truck, you know, at lunch and just.
That's so great. That's so great. If
Yeah.
someone surprised me with laser guns, I'd be like, I'd be so, that makes me so stoked.
Yeah.
Well, I was working on this one movie, or it was a TV show called Poker Face.
Oh, yeah.
And, do you like it?
I haven't watched it yet. I worked on it a couple days. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I helped them with, like, the last week. But all of the Teamsters had, like, gotten into the habit of using, like, these, like, water guns, except they're, like, little pellets of, like, squishy.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of like a jelly jam. And, like, the full-time loader on that, he was just, like, shooting at the Teamster. And it's, like, some automatic, rifle-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
So good.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to clean those. I figured lasers are like...
Someone's always got to clean up everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, your boy is here to clean.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to doing?
Ooh.
Like, in the future, what would you like to be working on, or creating, or
Well, actually, I've got two things that I'm thinking about. And lopping off my titties just came up as number one. But
That's an answer. That's the thing. Yeah, I was keeping
Check it off. 1 out of 2.
I was keeping
I really need one more goal.
vague on purpose.
Being able to afford that, that'd be chill.
Nice.
You know, no happiness. Can't afford to skip in this economy.
Not in this grass.
No. But yeah, the two things I want to accomplish, like myself as a male identifying person, I really find like the spectrum of sexuality and like the representation of it to be like a really cool. Like I just think people are pretty.
Yeah.
They're just like pretty good looking,
Yeah.
right? So I wanted to make a picture book that's kind of in the gradient of like femme to masc, and ask like a bunch of buddies to just like, you know, come out and like whatever they think is their most like gender euphoric like fit.
That's so interesting.
And then put them like I see this one person on TikTok who's very like femme presenting, but they go by he and him, and when he talks about it, it's like, yeah, I guess who the fuck cares? Like, there are gay dudes who wear fucking frilly shit all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just as valid to want to be a man who looks hot as fuck in the body that you have. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, we all like to be hot.
Yeah.
So it would kind of be like, that would probably be somewhere closer to the middle, but still in the masculine space. You know, so I just like think like making a little gradient book would be like really sick.
Cool.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Cool.
That'd be a great kids book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely have to simplify
I was gonna
things.
say, I really want him to look like pretty sexy though.
There's an adult version, and I mean, young kids are definitely tapped into themselves more now than before. Honestly,
Yeah, but they're also far more depressed than anybody else.
Yeah, well, that's for fucking sure.
So-
Yeah.
I don't know
This
if I
is
want to
true.
give them the key to
This
their
is
depression.
true. This is
Because I was fine before I knew I was a man.
Yeah.
And then it got weird. It was like, I thought I was pretty good looking. And then I was like, well, I don't look like how I want to look at all. Here's my new problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, where are you at now with that problem? Like, how do you feel like you are on your journey of like understanding yourself, or just like being comfortable with yourself?
It's pretty funny because like, I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. But I look like a pretty hot chick. Like, if you didn't know me, you didn't respect who I was, and like, you just looked at me and said a thing. If I dressed up the way that I used to dress up, I'm like a pretty hot chick. And I used to appreciate the benefits of walking around as a hot chick in New York, you know? Like, walking around like this doesn't do a whole lot for me other than make me feel good and warm inside. So sometimes it's kind of like my sister asked me the other day if I wanted to go out as a hot chick so we could get free drinks. And I was like, you know what? I kind of do. Yeah. And I like dressed up in all her clothes, and it was like a really nice night. You know? I didn't touch my wallet, and got hit on by a bunch of really hot people. But it took me a long time of being like, oh, I'm gonna be so far away from that and so far removed to like have the space to like miss it in a way that doesn't feel that doesn't make me feel defensive about who I am, you know? And then also just like, I feel like, with that whole, you're probably the most homophobic when you're gay. You're also probably the most transphobic when you're trans, I think might be one way to say it. Because, yeah, like, I had to go through a lot of really shitty feelings to get to like, oh yeah, that dude who dresses in like a cute frilly dress for TikTok, like, who the fuck cares? It took me a long time being like, that's not real. To like, my buddy Narciso, when I first came out, was like, I think I kind of feel this way, dude. He was like, you need to stop using she and her. And I was like, oh, it's just so weird and ingrained, And like, I felt like I was lying to the world. I was like, dude, I still look like this. If I say that shit, people are just gonna look at me funny. Like, I don't want people to notice me, period, most of the time. So, yeah, it just took a lot of like effort, but it's all worth it. Getting to the other side of it, I feel like way better than I ever have.
That's awesome.
So, and sometimes I can still get free drinks, which is chill.
Do you now like feel like those two different versions of you, the one from the past and the new person you've become? Do you view both in a beautiful light though? Because now you're
definitely both very hot.
You're like, I see it as like,
yeah, that's a good one.
I see it as like you're just a person. Everybody's just a person, a human being, and you're attractive. Like, also style, like, like, what did I do? First thing I complimented was your glasses. And then also I went to the bathroom and was like, damn, he's great hair. Like, I'm just like, fucking motherfucker. Like, it's just like, yeah, it was just, also love that it, like, it's just, you're just, what's the word? I don't know, aura. Your vibe, like, it's just what you give off. And, yeah, I feel like,
This is getting too nice.
Sorry.
I'm feeling very seen right now, and I just said I didn't want to be seen.
Welcome to the compliment portion of the podcast.
Focusing on you before.
Yeah. So is it like generally hard to take a compliment for you, or like how what's like?
Yeah, that's years from childhood abuse.
Yeah.
I think so many of us deal with that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think earlier we were talking about the comforts of of like a 60s and 70s parent
Yeah.
and what they can offer you.
Yeah, I love how we're back there. That sounds like
Yeah, sometimes it's not a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting when you're growing up, that is when you're doing your self-discovery.
Yeah.
Right? You as an individual, because the only thing you have absorbed are your parents. Who are they? What are they like? How do they act? Whatever. You, like, that takes years for people.
Yeah.
That's also how I view it. I'm just like, chemically, neurologically, like, you could be discovering you're an entirely different person come career, sexuality, or interests, hobbies, whatever it is, when you're 50. Like, you have to, sometimes it takes decades to uncondition yourself from whatever society and, like, this culture as a whole, like, has portrayed, or uncondition yourself, or unlearn what your parents have taught you. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Everybody's on their own timeline and their own pace. So it is like, it's kind of a rude awakening. Sorry for getting so deep, but it is like being a kid and you're just like, God damn it. Like, I was so safe and warm in my little bubble. And then I found out all this shit. And you're like, this dad fell from the pedestal. This mom from the pedestal. But it's also like, yes, you still love them, care about them, do whatever, but you just have different views.
Yeah.
You see the world differently. Right? And then that is like so much self-reflection, and then it's like, everything is like, I feel like that's an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
But personally,
Yeah, because the way you view the people in your life is always going to evolve and change as you get older, and you, like, especially if they are older than you, because, like, you're getting, like, you're always like, it's weird because you're getting closer to, like, their age, especially with your parents, right? But then, like, as you're getting, like, you'll never be the same age as them, right? But
you just understand them a little
exactly,
more.
yes, at a certain age, right? But and then like 10 more years pass, and you're, I get this part of it a little bit now. Like, sometimes, like, not always. I think sometimes, I think you do understand something. Either you understand them, or you understand why they do the things they do, or why they are the people.
I think it's a choice for sure, because some people stay stuck.
Yeah.
They do not change, or they do not understand their parents. The time, like, because I feel time gives you that to the understanding, and you're learning more about them, learning about more of yourself. So
it depends if you're willing to stay engaged with them, right?
Of course.
Never learn.
Yes.
Step away.
Right.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
I mean, some people it's like the pleasure of ignorance, which I wish I had the pleasure of stupidity. You definitely don't. You can tell are deeply depressed.
But also very intelligent.
This is the best psychic reading I've ever gotten. This is the real shit. Yeah, give me some specifics. I don't know how else to say that, but yeah, obviously you're correct.
Yeah, no, I have a...
It's bizarre to me when people do not... There's some... I, have a friend who's never experienced depression, has never been depressed, has not
That's not real.
But it is.
No, I've got like...
They're sad. They get sad, but they do not get to like a very low point. Like there's just not... Like I've had a conversation with this person.
It's not like trauma response that affects other trauma response that affects...
That like spiraling.
Depression.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Spiraling. But some people, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think like a lot of times, like not all wealthy people are exempt from depression, but there are a lot of wealthy people that are, and like it's the kind of thing you were saying before about like someone's like worst day is their worst day. It's like you only are your experiences, whatever. So it's like if someone like has like not struggled and they've always been able to get whatever they wanted, and they've never had any kind of like loss or anything like that, it's like. I guess like maybe they at some point they'll get existential about it and they'll develop their own they'll self-induce their own depression, but some of them won't. Some of them will just be like, this is my life.
And some people have all those other issues and they still find ways to pull themselves deeper in that same bullshit nonsense.
Yeah.
No, there's always lower to go. I found that out. I know that some people say, oh, when you hit rock bottom. I don't think that I've ever found a bottom that couldn't use a shovel.
That's a really good way to phrase it. It's so funny to me that, because you say existentialism, that in high school, when we were like 15, 16 years old, oh God, what is that famous book? I don't think it's
the
is
Bible?
It Albert Camus. No, actually I've never read the Bible. I thought about it actually the other week. I was like, should I start reading the Bible?
Just for literature.
That's the best story ever told.
I was in the library and I'm like, I read memoirs. memoirs a lot, and I know not a Bible's not a memoir, but like it is historical fiction.
Jesus' memoir.
I mean, it's something that got everybody to believe in God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, it's definitely a pretty moving piece.
Well,
I've read some of it. I like keep promising my uncle that I'm going to read it. Because you know, he's a Jehovah's Witness who wants to save my soul.
Right.
I love him to pieces, and I think it's so thoughtful. But
that's so nice of you that you say, like you got to do it. You got.
I know I do. He sent me a 30-page email the other day. Yeah, and then I told him that it was a little bit too long, and so he's now sent it in 3 2-page chunks with extra spacing. And he's gonna continue sending me one every week, like a newsletter.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Wait, if I give you my email address, I'm for real. Get the Bible as a newsletter. I fucking read it. That's the only way I'll be disciplined to do that.
Just like get a little piece of it.
At a time, Oh my god. I feel like this is a great subscription.
Dude, this is a new market for Late Night Hump. You start sending out Bible subscriptions.
Yeah, then I'll
you just get like a page or 2.
Yeah, the Old Testament.
Free, right?
Yeah. Wow. But I was saying in high school they made us read about existentialism, and I'm like, why the frick would you make a high schooler read about existentialism? Just because I feel like, or certain things we read in middle school, I'm like, just because I feel like we were such a hormonal mess already, and you're going through and then you're like, now my mind's fucked. But I get like, yes, we should. I don't know. I feel like we read really adult books when we were in high school, and I was just like, I don't know if I was ready for that.
Yeah.
You must have gone to a really good school.
Yeah.
I went to a very inner city school.
Yeah. No, for sure, different.
Yeah, the craziest shit I read, I found myself, or with the help of my dad.
Yeah. What's some of the crazy shit that you've read?
Just like 100 million little pieces. That like memoir that was a total lie, but then like Oprah was like apologized to the world.
I heard about this. I haven't read it.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched Shawshank Redemption and what's that really fucked up movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
A deeply disturbing movie. It was like my favorite for years.
Is it Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wait, don't say anything. Haven't seen that. Haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
I know. Jordan was telling me the other day, and he's just like, I'm like, how would you describe it? I'm like, what is Requiem by a Dream? And he's just like, you just have to watch
It's
it.
just a heroin addict going at it, pretty much. I think.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's like
you sound like such a mom. Oh, jeez, I don't want to watch a heroin addict.
Yeah, there are not a lot of movies that I would not rewatch again. It's a fantastically well made movie, and it is. I do not want to.
Who's
see
in
it?
Who?
Jared Leto. What's her name?
Yeah, Jordan said.
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna be able to get who the older actress is.
Yes.
I should know this.
Alright, here we go, Google.
Yeah.
That is what we do in this generation.
That's right. Yeah.
I was just gonna sit here and struggle, and my struggle, I was gonna recede to the back.
It always works.
I can't try. Jennifer Connelly, Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to remember.
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans. I remember I was like, because I definitely had seen White Chicks before that, and I'm like, 2 very different movies.
But they do say comedians always make good for drama.
It's
just
true.
not the other way around.
Yes.
This is
And
the
that
guy
guy's
that
a funny guy.
that plays
yes.
the head cartel dude in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Who's
in that
movie?
movie?
Hector.
Yeah, who plays Hector? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
David, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah. So if you're taking like the percentage of your introversion versus your extroversion, like what percentage introvert are you and what percentage extrovert would you say you are?
Okay, it's really funny that you asked that. Just because I've got this buddy, Brenton, we used to call B-Bang. And B-Bang stands for Bible Banger.
Wow.
So it's funny that we get to share the Bible thing, but now we get to talk about B-Bang.
Wait, his name's
buddy.
Brenton?
Brenton Kaplan.
So you know a Brendan and a Brenton.
Yeah.
A small world.
You're living a sitcom.
And they're very different people. What was I going to tell you about Brenton?
What was your question, Brenton?
Introvert, extrovert.
Oh, so we were both in this class in this class to find out more about who we were. And our teacher made us take the Myers-Briggs and whatever else kind of shit like that.
Yeah.
And one was putting us physically in the room from extroversion to introversion on a scale.
Okay.
And Brent was all the way at introversion, and I was all the way at extroversion. And so I looked over to see who the last guy down the line was, and I waved at him, and then I decided to sit across from him and make my best friend.
Wow.
And he was very much not into it for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're good buddies now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. Wait, so you put yourself on the scale where you think you are, or like the
Our
teachers?
professor did.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
she made us take all these exams and things, and put us
Based on
to
the
show
results.
us
Yeah.
like as a quality of the room.
Yeah.
Did you agree with her assessment?
I mean, we took the tests. Like, I guess she's got a method to the madness.
Yeah.
I've never
But I
seen
just
a
wonder.
test
I wonder by like, I don't know if you had like just like a different feeling at that time, or like also now. How do you feel more of?
Well, I think the pandemic kind of fucked us all up.
Yeah,
I feel far more introverted than I've ever felt. In my
That's
life.
yeah.
But I think that's like I overheard some folks talking on the train, and one of them was talking about how like there are things that people need and crave, but the longer that you're away from it, the less you remember how to crave it. And I thought that was pretty interesting because, like, yeah, I used to love going out with my buddies, and now instead of going out with my buddies, well, I'm trying to force myself out of it, but I'll like play a video game and just like sit in my room or like be depressed and just sleep for like hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like I could just go and like throw axes at a bar
Yeah.
and like go get laid, but no, I'm gonna like sit in my bed and just be a schmuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because like my body is so conditioned to be like, you can't go outside. What's out there?
Yeah.
But it's like no, there's like a
Yeah.
world and cool shit and cool people
Yeah.
and nice people and
Yeah, you don't want to be like, oh, I spent my whole life in my room by myself. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
but
to.
that was-
You have to like force yourself to engage though. For
it
sure.
was never like a thing that I had to force myself to do.
Yeah.
Once
Oh,
upon a
okay.
time, I was extroverted enough. Like I was just the shit I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like I would just be outside. And now it's like, oh, I could be home.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit's sick.
Yeah, because it's like very easy to talk yourself into like just doing what you're doing already. You know, whether it's good or bad. Sometimes it's like if you're enjoying yourself, you're like, oh yeah, like I'm comfortable. I'm in my sweatpants. I'm eating food that I like, or I move from the spot that I'm in right now. But then sometimes
Yo, comfort is
Yeah.
probably the thing that makes it the weakest link for
Yeah,
me.
it's
like,
very
this-
conflicting
Yo,
thing,
if I'm in my
for sure.
PJs, I don't have, like, I also love not having a bra on most of the, wow, TMI, sorry, forgot we were recording.
it's always, people are really
I
into it, so.
love, sometimes, yeah, I get so grounded on we're just having like a regular conversation. Love just being like super chillaxed, don't like being like binded by stuff or anything, and then like being here with the cat, like having food so close by. I was like, why would I leave?
Yeah, we
But
just
there's-
gotta go outside without a bra more.
I
I think that's what we learned. Go outside, free bird.
I do. I feel like since the pandemic, I have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just way less, just not like, yeah.
Because who the fuck cares? You
Yeah.
know? Like, some people will be weird about it, but some people look at you and just decide they hate your guts anyway. So.
I don't.
Like,
But it
now
makes
they
me
get to
so
say couple things and
self-conscious
maybe they'll leave me
because
alone.
I'm always thinking about what other people think, and I'm just like, oh, but what if they see it and they think like, oh, that's not an acceptable, nice thing to do. That's not like a blah, blah, blah. I don't know why I think that. Yeah.
Funny, like they get somebody in Walmart getting mad at you for not wearing a bra. It's like, young lady.
Okay, because the thought pattern is like I love my boobs and I know how good they are, and like people have to be paying attention to them, and then goes into oh no, what? But what are they thinking now? They see it, and now that like they know I'm not wearing a bra, and like tisk tisk, all because you know.
I think that the answer always lies in science. Right? Now, scientifically, your skin has a certain amount of elasticity in it. And if you don't use it, you lose it, like any good language. So when you wear a bra too often, you're losing the elasticity because your skin isn't doing anything anymore.
This is
so
true.
If somebody
This
gives
is
you
true.
shit, you're like, look, I'm doing it for my health. You don't understand.
This is
You
true.
don't understand, and I think you're being really ignorant right now to the science. You get educated.
Thank you for educating kidding me. I needed that. Yeah.
Science. Love science.
Yeah, Bill Nye needs to do an episode on this.
Yeah.
Why
Today's
women don't need to wear bras. Yeah, exactly.
This is the scientific corner of the.
I remember in science class in middle school, people the teacher was like, "Oh, the next thing that may go extinct or we may lose is our hair because we're so used to wearing clothes, so we no longer need hair for actual warmth and I was like, what are you talking about, crazy lady? I'm like, we're always gonna have hair, and then I'm just like, wait. I don't know if that would happen. Obviously, things have happened. Like if we told you,
Yeah, we don't. More and more people are being born without 2 bones on their forearm.
Whoa.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you used to have 2 bones right here.
Huh.
But why is that evolving out?
Oh, it was in Freakonomics. I don't know. They know. I read it for the weird fact. I didn't read it for the science fact all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, mental note. I will look that up.
Yeah, maybe it's because we used to use the forearms for horseback riding more, and now we drive cars, which uses the forearms very little.
You use your forearms to
But I don't know
tight.
if we had genetic shift within all of the human species.
I'm talking genetic shift when your tailbone coming out. Obviously you don't have tails anymore. Whatever. Genetic shift. We no longer have gizzards because we do not need to. All of our food is cooked now, and we're not trying to break down very rough material.
But does my body know I'm going back to Gaia soon? Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, I'm gonna live off the land, and I'm gonna leave the city and rough it for
those are actual goals?
If I got to live my classic best life scenario, I'd definitely be somewhere else, just chilling in the woods.
Cool.
Nomad?
Being a fucking weirdo, yeah.
Well, dope.
Yeah, hopefully
with somebody or solo? Are you very
not one
solo?
somebody. I'm not a hook me up to the next closest body and we're just gonna make it happen. I want 10 people. You know? Yeah, a little group. We can have comedy nights, poetry nights, share our souls.
Yeah.
I don't want to be all alone. That would suck.
So a commune, a cult.
That'd be sick.
There's a reason people are drawn to cults. It's because there is an appeal.
True.
There is something of we're all just gonna be together and then obviously it escalates from there. But there's some element of people,
no cults are bad.
Right?
I don't think all cults are bad.
Yeah.
That's a very culty thing to say.
But we're in the cult of improv.
Yeah, we're
That's
in the cult of New Jersey.
We're in the cult. Yeah, honestly, any clique in a community is technically a cult. If you have this kind of thing, and it's people who are religion. That's a major ass cult. Yeah. But it's not leading people to be, drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, actually,
it does allow people to drink the Kool-Aid. We live in a horrible republic where, all of our political parties are out to screw us the most they can.
But this is considered legal. Yeah. People are not disbanding that. People,
Yeah, fucking cult-ass crazy people.
Cult of America.
Yeah, grab my pussy, America. Pretty culty.
Yeah, quite culty, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't heard that phrase in so long.
God bless it.
Oh. Yeah.
Gosh. It was so good for a period of time where that was out of my head. Yeah. I was
I'm so
I haven't thought of
bring that back to you.
It's called history.
You seemed a little happy.
Back down.
I know you have a great capacity for depth. Trying to get lifetime.
Oh gosh. Who's being interviewed?
It's always Jesus.
Yeah, we're just a reflection of God at the end of the day.
Yeah. A good reflection indeed.
Can I ask, what are your thoughts when it comes to God?
Ooh, I think that...
Or what belief system in general, I guess you would have.
Whatever it is, I hope it's gay as hell.
Yeah.
I don't have a real thought about it. My parents were both agnostic growing up. My grandparents were heinously religious. But that shit kind of was oh, my crazy grandparents, religion probably is a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think my parents were right. But I just hope that if it makes people do good things, I don't give a fuck if it's around.
Mm-hmm.
People are snakes whether you give them a religion or not. Some people just do bad things. But if they feel bad about it or are maybe less engaged with doing bad things because there's somebody to tell them not to,
Yeah.
whatever. But I hope that whatever it is, it's gay as fuck. Yeah.
Wow, this has been a wonderful conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, Ash. Do you have anything that you want to plug, any handles or anything that you want to be like, hey, people, listen to this, do this?
Hey,
no,
subscribe to that Bible newsletter.
Right.
Yeah, listen to Alan Watts.
Yes.
Alan Watts is a cool guy.
Yeah.
And have a great night.
Yes, and thank you for listening to another LNH Studios Late Night Hump podcast. Follow all of our stuff. We have a lot of great events coming up. We're going to be doing a screening of our feature film, Beware the Horn, at Foreign Objects on February 17th in Monroe, New York. So come out for that. We also have an improv show the following Friday. We are taking over your Fridays. We have your Wednesdays with Hump Night, your Fridays, and also check out our website for all the Annabella's House of Mozzarella comedy shows that are coming up.
Yeah, coming up February 4th, we got a great show coming up with Monique Latisse of Monique's Comedy Club. Also Sammy James, speaking of queer comics. Yeah.
Oh, and we got into a new film festival.
Yeah.
Garden State Film Festival.
Yeah, so we'll be there in March. I think it's March 26th is the date.
Yeah.
So come out to Asbury Park, hang out at the beach with us, and then we'll go watch the movies together.
Asbury Park is awesome.
Yeah, love it.
Fucking yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.